When I was young and ignorant, I believed that in order to throw in a powerful way my opponent, the key was just to drill the technique over and over again until it will become perfect. And once the technique will be perfect, then I will be able to throw my opponent as hard as I possibly can. And I was damn wrong. And I wasted a lot of times focusing on the wrong things, because yes, doing uchikomi in drilling technique is necessary, so you become more efficient by a neuromuscular level. You become much more efficient in the way that you use your levers, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. All right, today I'm going to show you how to improve your power in your throws and which are the ways that you can use in order to become more powerful grappler and judoka. First of all, what is power? Power is the ability to produce a huge force in a short amount of time. This is the formula for power. So, in order to increase our power, need to either increase the strength produced or reducing the time in which the strength is produced. So, what are the takeaways that we can extract from this formula? The first takeaway is to increase your max general strength. So increasing your maximal strength in the squat, in the hinge, in the pushing and in the pulling patterns. You need to do these movements in order to increase your muscle mass, increase your neural drive, so that you will be more powerful when you will perform the specific throw. Because the point is that the more maximal strength you have, the more power you can express. An athlete that can squat 100 kilos for 1 rep max will produce far less power than the athlete that can squat 150 kilos for 1 rep max. And of course there are some diminishing returns after some levels of strength, but it's likely that you don't have this level of strength yet. So increase your max strength as much as you possibly can, especially in judo, in wrestling, where maximal strength is is very important in order to win some scrambles. So max strength is extremely important. Improve it as much as you possibly can. The second takeaway is that we need to increase our rate of force development, because if strength would be the only thing, strength matters, but if strength would be the only thing that matters, powerlifters will dominate all grappling sports. Once you have increased your general strength, you need to increase your tendon stiffness and learn how to apply a lot of strength in a short period of time. So you need to apply some jumps, plyometrics and Olympic lifts to your program, so that you will be able to transform the strength that you have developed with the squat, the hinges, the pushing, the pulling, in order to you have to teach your body how to use the strength in a very short contact time. The third thing that you need to do is to learn the skill as good as you can. By trying to increase your physical qualities, you might overlook the things that actually matter the most, which is doing the uchikomi. And I know I told that I used to do a lot of uchikomi and it wasn't the best thing to improve the power, which is true, but you need to be efficient in what you do. You need to practice the skill, the seoinage or the double leg takedown, whatever it is. You need to practice it as much as you can, because the more you practice the skill in which you're trying to get better, the more efficient you become, and you need less cognitive energies to think about and how to perform it. And you have to think less about the skill that you need to perform. You can apply more intent and power to it. The fourth advice, and the most important, that changed the way that I approach uchikomi and training in judo. Once you learn the throw and the takedown, once you don't need that much cognitive energy to apply that, perform it as hard as you possibly can. You will never throw powerfully your opponent if you don't train yourself to throw hard during the drills. Every time that you throw your opponent, imagine to slam him on the mat as hard as you can, with respect to your uke, of course, but you need to practice the art of slamming your opponent as hard as you possibly can on the mat. This will develop crazy neurological adaptation. It will increase your power. There is one study where they see that in the basic movement pattern, so it was, I believe, in the bench. In one group, they told the athletes to push the bench as hard as they possibly can, so to put a lot of neural effort into their training, and to the other group they said just lift the bar. What they saw after 12 weeks of training is that the athletes that were putting more effort into pushing the bar over their chest have an increase of like 10% more of strength after the cycle than the other athletes. So when you do that with, what can we take away from this is that power is developed also through intentionality. You gotta throw your opponent as hard as you possibly can. You have to want to throw him hard on the mat. You gotta be very, very intentional with your drills and your drills. What can you do practically is, instead of doing the classical 10 reps uchikomi when you go very light, try to perform 3 reps, 5 rep max of uchikomi, and on the 5th one, go as hard as you possibly can. Throw him as hard as you possibly can, and you will see a lot of difference, trust me. I know it might sound very confusing because I'm talking in a very fancy terms. I'm talking about sports science, so it won't be very easy to understand, and you might have a lot of doubts about it. If you need help with your strength and conditioning, jiu-jitsu or grappling sport, send me an email to this address and book a free 20-minute consultation with me. I hope that this video was useful. Remember to aim upward as always.